coming weekend is one of my favorite weekends because it's a 4-day weekend. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Memorial Day's this weekend. It's going to be awesome. The weather's looking like it's supposed to be nice, which will be great. So with this coming weekend, it marks the 5-year point that my granny passed away. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about that and how I saw the Lord's hand in that. It was a Wednesday, and my sister had flown down to Mississippi where my granny was. She had flown down earlier that week and taken her doctor's appointments, and on Wednesday she called me and said, hey, they've actually found a lot of internal bleeding in Granny. She's in like stage 5 or something like that, just out of nowhere. And the doctors think you should come down immediately. So I got home, booked a flight. The earliest flight we could get out was Thursday night. So this was a Wednesday night. Wednesday afternoon, I need to pack all that stuff. So anyway, my sister is down in Mississippi by herself with Granny in the hospital. And I'm at the airport Thursday morning. We got there super early in case I could catch a standby flight, but the weather was awful. So number one, a lot of the flights were delayed or canceled. And then number 2, there were a lot of people on standby. I don't know what was going on, but everybody was on standby. I'm in the airport for probably like 5 hours at this point, and I keep getting calls from my sister like, hey, this is what's going on, updates, things like that. And talking about, Granny's going downhill pretty quickly. Then I got the final call, and I'm still sitting in the airport by myself, that I needed to say goodbye to Granny, and so I said goodbye. She had a tube in her mouth, so I couldn't really, it wasn't like, like a super like, oh, it didn't sound like Granny, but we got to say goodbye, and I love you, and then we hung up, and my sister called me a couple minutes later and said that Granny had passed away, and so still sitting in the airport by myself, getting this news, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, nobody's around me right now, and I'm like a mess, and all that stuff, and wondering, like, why couldn't I make this flight? Like, why couldn't I get on standby? Those questions are running through my mind, and got on to the flight eventually, 8 hours in the airport later, and flew to Charlotte, where my connecting flight was, and watched our connecting flight fly away. We didn't make it in time to actually get on the plane. So, like, we just watched it take off. So now I'm like, okay, I've missed my flight to Mississippi. I had to spend the night in the airport. What? Like, what? Hello, Lord. Like, do you see me? Do you not understand God, who should be all-knowing? Do you not understand that I needed to be with my sister in this moment? Do you not understand that I wanted to say goodbye to Granny? I wanted to see her one more time. I wanted to see her a million more times, but at least one more time. And do you not know that now I have to spend the night in the airport? Like, what? Worst day ever. And it was awful. It was awful. I had a pair of boxers and a long sleeve shirt. And that's what I slept in. I was freezing cold. It was awful. Like, it was actually just awful. Literally the worst 24-hour period of my life. Awful. And the whole time I'm like, where are you, God? Like, where are you? I don't understand. I was 23, and this is the first time we're dealing with this, and everybody's gone. Like, she doesn't have any family down there. We didn't have any friends down there. My parents are gone on a cruise. Can't contact them. Like, it was wild. And 2 days later, my sister and I were in the car, and she just starts crying. I was like, hey, like, what's going on? What are you thinking about? And she said, I just keep seeing the oxygen tank just deplete for the last time. Which, of course, like, was so sad to hear. But the Spirit, guys, the Spirit whispered to me in that moment so clearly, that's exactly why you missed your flight. Because you couldn't have handled that. I have no doubt in my mind that that was the Spirit. No doubt. It was so clear. I know it was the Spirit. I knew it then. I know it now. He said, that's why you missed your flight. I know there are those moments when we think, I can't catch a break. Hello, God. Are you actually there? Like, are you listening? Are you watching me? In your word, it says that you watch the sparrow, so why wouldn't you watch me? But I'm not feeling like you're watching me right now. Like, what is going on? Bad thing. Like, what? I get that. And that's honestly, like, for most of that 24-hour period, that's exactly what it felt like. All of that, the worst 24 hours ever, still protected me from what could have been an even worse 24 hours. My sister, she sees that in her head, and I couldn't have handled that, and the Lord knew that. I didn't know that. I know I wanted to be in the hospital. I wanted to be there with her, but I didn't know about that. The Lord knew because he is so kind and so good. In his word, it says, I knit you in your mother's womb. I knew you before you were born, and he knows every bit about me. And so, of course, he lovingly protected me from that. What I thought was absence was actually him protecting me, just him covering me with his hand. And so I'm so grateful for that, and I would love to encourage you with that when you think, this is the worst day. Like, I don't even know if God is seriously real. But friends, remember, he created your ears. He created your mouth. He created you. Of course, he is quick to listen to you. He wants to hear your voice. And in Joshua 1:9, it says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified, and do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Friends, I want to encourage you that there is no part of your life, good or bad, that runs under the radar of God. He is so aware of everything that's going on. I mean, he sees it all. He's everywhere. He knows everything. We need to hold fast to the truth that we know about God, that he is kind and loving and faithful, and he is for us. He is for you. He is for me. I honestly believe the Spirit will reveal that to you in time. Okay? Have a great week, friends. I'll see you on the next episode of The Current.